All right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day number 283. So for today's update, there are once again no updates on the renovation situation. There is one sponsor block type remaining in the store. So get it now before it's gone. And today I worked on the next long form video again. So today was also a productive day. I think I got all of the filming done that I need. So I think I have all the assets and all the filming. So maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, I will be able to have that finished. Shibal says, yo, how's it going? So today we will continue with work on the terminal block mining simulation game. So yesterday, I think I was looking at the next steps for simplification. I think I decided that the next step would be to simplify the process of connecting together the client and server. So I'm probably going to move around some of the functions that control how the client is actually bootstrapped. So single player still works. Let's test multiplayer client. Okay, that still works. Excellent. Okay, so I think what I think I'll do is I'll change this around so you can create the client object and just have it sitting there. And then externally, I'll start the network. I'll call this method externally. Maybe I'll even rename that. this should probably deadlock, but we'll see what it does. If it crashes, that's not good. But if it deadlocks, that's okay. All right. What am I looking at? You are looking at video game development of a terminal-based video game. And right now, I'm testing the bootstrapping process for it. So, looks like I'm going to have to log back in. But that's actually a good thing. Okay, that's one step. Now let's check that the multiplayer client still works. No, that's not good. User session is null. Okay, that'll have to be fixed. Yeah, that's right, because I have an issue. You know that doesn't log those errors when I launch it from the... Watching it was very entertaining. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's in my opinion, these streams are pretty boring. So it's good that there's an audience for it. Let me think. I need a better way. It'd be nice if I could log those exceptions. Start running client. It shouldn't be null. Giordani says, hello there. How's it going? So the reason it's staying all messed up is because the try catch block that actually fixes the UI is in a different class. Right here. How many ores are you planning to add? Eventually, I'll probably add all of them. every aura that you possibly can think of. Oh yes, that's because the connect method has not been called yet. I will withdraw my math course. Can't get an A with my actual knowledge. Oh, you're withdrawing from a university course? Yeah, it's I guess there's lots of things to consider for whether you should withdraw from a course or not, but lots of academic and personal decisions. Why don't you create an alias for removing our general commands? I prefer to just use things that work everywhere. If I create an alias, I have to create an alias on other computers, and then the question is, what would be the aliases? And I guess this is my muscle memory way of doing it, and it's reasonably efficient, I think. College course. Yeah, I think in the US, there's a bigger distinction made between college and university. But in Canada, I think they're or what am I saying? I think, yeah, some places make a bigger distinction than others, and then I guess every academic institution has to be individually analyzed. Okay, let's see what this does. University is very expensive. College is expensive. Yeah, it's the whole like college and university scam. I mean, it's rough because like there's certainly some institutions where you go and you get a degree and it really is a good investment. But then other colleges and institutions are basically just like stealing from you and setting you up for like a lifetime of debt. And it's I mean, it should be a bigger scandal, but I don't know. The government's just like, oh well, we'll just let you keep doing this. I saw a clip recently talking about in the UK, or I think in like maybe broadly in Europe, but I think in the UK specifically, they have this like a ton of there's a huge number of students there that went to school, took out massive loans, and got a degree, and now they can't make with their degree they cannot get a job that makes enough money to make the payments. And there's going to be this like they're changing, the government is trying to like retroactively, or maybe not the government, someone in the loop is trying to retroactively change the contracts to like increase the interest rates, which is going to like completely devastate a bunch of people. But they're like, they want to use some legal loophole to increase interest rates when people are already like looking forward to a pretty bleak future. Sounds terrible. Yeah, it is. There's a bunch of that going on. I think there's also something that's underrated. Is like if you go into debt for university, understanding the terms of the interest rate of like your financial arrangement is a pretty big deal. Because like for some student loan programs, you get like some interest-free period, and like the way the interest is applied, the way it's calculated, how much you can defer it. And I think the people that get really screwed are the people that get like private loans that are these super high interest ones. Okay, that did what I want. My Life Community College is free. It is that bad? I've aliased MV to just M. So I can save typing all those letters. That's a good idea. That's extremely efficient. 50% increase in efficiency. We got a channel member. Welcome to the student here. To Losh17122. Yeah, it's been a while since I had a new channel member sign up. Thanks, bro. You're the man, dude. Thank you. It is not that bad. Yeah, if you've got free community college, take advantage of that. Honestly, it's such a huge tragedy. It's not fair, and also young people are so not equipped. If you go to the wrong college or university and get the wrong loan, you can totally destroy your life and be you can completely wipe out your future if you get some. There's tons of stories on YouTube and stuff, people posting about they're $300,000 in debt. Some of that is from irresponsible spending, but some of it's just from they made they didn't know anything about interest, so they signed up for this high interest private loan. Then they got a degree in basket weaving and can't make payments. And then I know other people who they got loans, and there was it was a loan, but some of it was forgiven, and there was no interest on it for years. So inflation just makes the value of the loan go down. So there's a disincentive to paying it off. I used to know a poetry degree holder from Harvard, a business major from a state school. I suspect had a better career. Yeah, some of those. If you went to Harvard too, there's also a whole group of elites, people who hold capital. And their way of making money is just being born into a rich family. And as long as they manage their assets well, they can accumulate wealth and growth faster than a working person. WebSocket communication processor. Absolutely. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than try to pay it. Yeah, well, I wasn't even talking about that. You can. That is another thing you could try. Just like email them. Like if you have a loan, just be like, please, pretty please, I'm having trouble. And I think they do kind of. That is something you can. Well, depends on what loan program and when it is and stuff. But they seem to just. It depends what country you live in and when these things are available. I missed the boat on that. I never got any interest-free loans. I was quite poor when I knew him. It's too bad. He got into Harvard with a degree in poetry. Wow, a poetry degree. In a way, it's kind of criminal to even, like, unless there's proven market demand. Like, I'm sure there probably are a handful of people who can make money writing poetry, but to advertise to students who have no idea about the world, like you're just told, like, oh, you can be anything. You could be a policeman, a fireman, a poet. And then everyone's like, oh, okay, I'll just be a poet. And little do you know, you just destroyed your life. Nobody told you. But they'll take your money. Most refreshing things you can see on YouTube is somebody who actually tells you as it is. Not some guru that's gassing you up, giving you hope, sell you his book or course. Realistic advice from people who have experience so much more valuable than some naive BS. Yeah, but naive BS does very well. You can make a lot of money posting how I made $10 million drop shipping courses. Okay, let's test that again. Single player client works. Naive people want to hear fantasies. Keeps the pink bubble alive. Yeah, there's I think there's a lot of different things going on as well. in some cases, I think there's like content that is not necessarily, it doesn't help people, but it's also like, it's a marketing funnel for other things. Like drop shipping courses, those things got big for a while. And like even just beyond the people selling the courses and stuff like that, a consequence of those is that the ad platforms would also make a bunch of money. Although, I don't know, I guess it's hard to say if like Facebook would have made any meaningful amount of money doing that, but I'm sure like when that fad was happening, there was a ton of like people, dumping a ton of money into Facebook ads, just trying to find something that would work, and then eventually it didn't. And that when they do that, that pushes up the ad prices. Today, sell courses about making courses. It's actually a thing. That's a fun meme, but I wonder, would you actually make any money on it? Courses about selling courses about selling courses. It's a very specific niche. It's important to be consistent in improving yourself and your skills to get a job and experience. That's true. Hello, Rob. How's it going? Just make it expensive so people think it's exclusive information. That does work, but then the thing is, if they give you a lot of money and then they get angry, they're disappointed. If it's not actually useful, then they'll do chargebacks and they'll be angry at you. Okay, now I can implement this. There's a thing of selling kitchen accessories or just products in general. It's like a Ponzi 2.0 that is legal. That sounds like a business model as old as time. There's there's been tons of those, like selling Tupperware and basic home accessories and stuff like that. They make for a good Ponzi scheme, because there's a lot of like housewives that want to start their own business, and then they'll coach them on like roping their friends into it, and before you know it, the whole neighborhood is in on the Ponzi scheme. Okay, this might be some progress. How do you make a CPU? Oh, that's easy. First, get a rock. Then smash the rock. Now, you've got 98% concentrated silicon dioxide. And then there's some more, but it's a lot of work to go through it all. So I made a video on it. You can check that out. What are you trying to do? I guess generally in the stream, so on these streams, I do work on my terminal-based video game, which I'll demo momentarily. And so it's a terminal-based video game where you wander around an infinite procedurally generated universe, and you spam the M key to mine blocks of iron ore and other types of minerals. So there's some ore. So I can go down, mine some iron ore. There's some, it may crash in a minute. So I can go here, go through my items. And I'm in the process right now of trying to refactor some of the code to support multiplayer. So there's already a lot of networking code in it. But there's currently no way to it doesn't actually like acknowledge two different players in the world at once. It's kind of like a networked single player, but yeah, so working on multiplayer. And so that's been just a couple of weeks of refactoring some of the code to launch threads and launch the client and server. Okay, this is some very good progress. Is it like Minecraft? Yes, you could compare it to Minecraft, like for the terminal. In general, I would like to make it so you can make multiple clients to connect to the world. So maybe a 3D client for the future. But that would be a longer term thing. Good luck. Thank you. So this might be generalized enough that I can move a lot of this into common methods. We do add a superface. I'm not sure what that means. How did you learn programming? I guess I've been studying it on my own since I was 14. And then I went to school and I got a degree in software engineering. Then I worked at some companies. Well, these were internships. Amazon, NVIDIA. MDE explains. X86 says, hi. Ever heard of Roman philosopher Testiculus? Is that an actual... That sounds like a made-up Roman philosopher name. Have an area with green trees and maybe flowers. I guess I'm not sure how to connect that to your last statement. Yeah, eventually I could have all sorts of items in the game. He said that the sack is tight winter and loose on summer. I don't know. I doubt that this is historically accurate information. What did you do at NVIDIA? At NVIDIA, I refactored an internal web page that presented the test results for the unit tests for all CUDA video cards on all different configurations of operating systems and all different internal tests. And the consequence of that was I was able to get the developers faster feedback on the results of their tests, because previous to that they had to load this like big long web page and it would take like 10 minutes to load because someone wrote it like years ago and never bothered to make it faster. Why'd you use terminal instead of, for example, Unity or Godot? I think that terminal makes sense because it's the intersection of a bunch of things. So for number one, any kind of game concept is going to have to be like unique or novel. There's 500 billion people making Unity games and other kinds of indie games. In terms of like terminal stuff, most of my audience is from terminal related videos. So it makes sense, I think, to start with, since a lot of my content already focuses on that, it makes sense to build a game around that, because then I can also maybe make some content, like, Linux command line content related to the game itself. And then also the other idea was that a lot of developing a user interface is a lot of work in a game, and I guess I probably I expected to do a bit less. I didn't expect to do as much work on the UI for this, but I guess ironically I kind of have spent a lot of the development time on the UI instead of the game. But it's featureful enough that I can do useful stuff with it now though. So my comments are not appearing. Actually, probably none of your comments are appearing. That's your first time I've seen your username in this chat session. So I don't censor any of the chat unless people post really crazy stuff. So if your comments are not appearing, up at the top you can select like top chat and live chat, and I think it's top chat and live chat. So your comments might be in the other one. I just leave it on auto moderation because I do need some moderation, and I'm also interested to see what things get censored, and it's opened my eyes to how the censorship on YouTube works. It's not at all like I thought it would be. The most common thing that gets censored seems to be if someone makes a joke about a conspiracy theory. We're using Debian with GNOME. Or which distro? This is just default Ubuntu. Robert is secretly worshiping Java, and his Bible is Code Clean by Uncle Bob. That's not true. Robert is not a censorship. He is not Big Brother. Is he Uncle Bob? Is that the name of the author of that? I don't know. I don't know enough about that to know if that's actually a book. I wrote a comment about a character from Seinfeld, an aforementioned Roman philosopher. Didn't say anything sus though. Huh, interesting. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, if it's so I have the chat in the live stream. So if it's not showing up at the live stream, then YouTube is censoring you for whatever. That's so weird. Like the censorship. it's so weird that they would censor something like that. Like we have such really good AI now. Like maybe it's trying to do some, like it's got some kind of next level ideological censorship it's trying to impose. Albert Einstein files. Yeah, if you talk about the Albert Einstein files, that's another really common thing that will get you, that your chats just won't go through. There's an ICE agent modding YouTube chats. I guess. Sounds like they're not doing their job then, if they're on YouTube. Okay, I was thinking about changing how the session operation interface is sent in here. Is that used? There's new drama in this country every week. And I think it's by design. I think some of the drama, it is by design to get you to focus on certain drama over other drama. Honestly, the stuff, a lot of the stuff that's coming out, I think this is like a multi-generational, like once in 100-year or once in a couple 100-year empire shifting moment. Like maybe not, today, but I think the ramifications of everything that's coming out now and the escalations and stuff, it's, I don't know, the temperature just keeps going up. We're headed towards something. When will you start your project? When will you start your project? If you go in this way, you will like 60 when you get enough money. I'm going to give my all and start now. Are you ready? Oh, you're saying I'll be 60 when I get enough money? By the time I get my $12 billion? I'd be doing pretty good in that case. Only a few more 1,000 days to go. Okay, I guess I can't get rid of that. What games do you play? The last couple of years, I don't play any games. Working on stuff has been basically where more and more of my time goes to. Historically, I have played Minecraft. I used to play Age of Empires back in the day. I played World of Warcraft when that was the thing. Actually, as soon as it came out, 2004, and then for a few years. But actually, all my World of Warcraft experiences from before there were any expansions. Okay, this is working. There are no issues. All right. I guess the hour is already over, but I did make a couple pieces of progress. So I guess the next thing I'll probably change this and client block model context. I'll rename it like make client block model context or something. Or actually, you know what? Yeah, I guess the whole idea was I want to be able to request this thing. I want to be able to say like get or make a client for this world, and then based on the address of the well, okay. Yeah, well, I'll figure it out next time. But anyway, a bunch of these methods will all be moved inside of here. Do you do YT full time? Yes. This past year, the most recent year has been where the majority of my income comes from. All right. Have a good night. I will be back tomorrow night for day 284. Have a good night.